South African youth is actually in crisis. The girls are conservative, and I need to know what's going on and how we can fix this immediately. It's such a big problem. A conservative youth means the end of liberalism. The South African Constitution creates all the conditions for the future generations to be liberal, or to at least be liberated in their beliefs and value systems. So I am trying to understand why it seems like we are regressing.
Being a conservative basically means that you're someone that is averse to change and you hold on to traditional values. Being a liberal, on the other hand, means that you have a progressive way of thinking, you are open to new ideas and new ways of doing things. Conservatives and liberals have always been clashing heads, and I think this is mainly because of the extremists. People that are extremely conservative and people that are extremely liberal. Conservatives can be very extreme in the sense that they are very stubborn and stuck in their ways. They are never open to new perspectives, new ideas, new ways of seeing things. Liberals can be extremists in the sense that they just do not know when to stop. Because progressing means to move forward, to move higher and higher, they just keep pushing the goalpost to the point that they do not realize how detrimental it is for society, because they do not care about repercussions, they do not care about what anything means and the weight that it carries. A lot of people, I believe, are in the middle. They can agree and disagree with liberals, and they can agree and disagree with conservatives. They appreciate what the liberals have to say and they appreciate what the conservative has to say, and if they have something they disagree with, they can discard it. So a lot of people are just trying to find a balance between the two. They are not extremely on one side and they are not extremely on the other. But the problem is that the extremists are the ones that are loud. They are very loud on social media, saying what they believe in and saying how people should only believe that and nothing else. South Africa is still largely a conservative nation because a lot of us still hold on to traditional values. A lot of us still believe in the things that our parents taught us and their parents taught them, and we still believe in teaching our children the same values. The young people particularly are adopting the more liberal way of thinking. They are trying to challenge the traditional values. They are trying to say, no, we can do something different. We do not have to hold on to what was done in the past. Maybe what was done in the past was not healthy. Maybe it was not right. Let us try to pursue something different. This sounds good, but it can easily be dangerous. Liberals believe in things like feminism, race politics, gender politics. And the thing about this is that they are always looking at things through the lens of oppression. Every aspect of life is a result of racism, patriarchy, misogyny, homophobia. They constantly see themselves as victims, as the oppressed, and as a result, they start to be the oppressor. They swear that they are trying to bring freedom, but they end up being the ones bringing oppression. The reason I say this is because you can never tell a liberal that you do not believe in feminism. I don't think this man is misogynistic if he says this, because they will chew you up. They will see you as you have a problem. You have internalized misogyny. You have internalized racism. Liberals are supposed to be the people that are open to new ideas. They are not stuck in their ways. They are open to hearing someone else's perspective and accepting it, but they are the total opposite of that. They have progressed so much that they started to regress, because according to them, we were oppressed by conservative ideologies, by conservative values. So they were trying to help us break free from that. But what they ended up doing, that they kept going so much that they started to go down, meaning that now they are on the opposite end of these values, and they're saying, if you don't carry these values, if you don't think in this way, if you don't accept these kind of people, then something is wrong with you and we cannot have people like you in society. The same way they claimed that the conservatives were not open to people being different, open to people seeing things differently. But now they are doing the exact same thing. One of the reasons why I think young people are starting to be more conservative is because they can see the rabbit hole that liberalism is. That there is no end, there is no satisfying them. They're never satisfied with anything, even the things that they have achieved so far. I once read a quote by a lady that is a feminist that said that her one or biggest fear is that the new generation will not acknowledge the things that the old generation did in the past. They will never be satisfied with that and say, hey, we've come a long way. Instead, they will discard it and still feel like there is no progress. They act like no progress has been made, which nullifies the efforts of the women that were feminists in the past and the things that they have achieved. Another reason why I think young people are gravitating more towards conservatism is because of the instability that liberalism comes with. It's not stable at all. You could never sit and say, okay, this is how things are. This is how we see things, and this is how we will do things, because tomorrow it could be something different. They could be swearing one thing today and say something completely opposite tomorrow. I've seen many videos of young girls that talk against men, and they say they do not like them, they hate them, and imagine being with a man, this and this and this. But then tomorrow they make another video saying, oh, I can't wait to get married, I would cook for my man, if I had a man I would do this. So you never really know what they stand for. They contradict themselves a lot, which brings a lot of confusion to the people that listen to them and follow them. There's a scripture in James that talks about a double-minded person, and it says that they are unstable in all of their ways. Double-minded people do not know where they are going, what they are doing, and what they believe. Therefore, you'll always have unrest if you're with someone that is double-minded, if you're listening to people that do not know where they stand. The last reason I believe is that liberalism doesn't care about repercussions. It doesn't care about consequences to actions. They're too busy trying to prove that they are not oppressed and that they are free thinkers and that they are going against the grain, that they forget that to every action there's a consequence. A lot of young people are realizing that these ideologies come with a price, a very huge price at that. Yes, you can think that. Yes, it can be acceptable in society, but what does that say about your life? How is your life going to go? What kind of things are you going to be involved in? What kind of circumstances are you going to find yourself in? If you've been taught traditional values by your parents and they have proven to be good for you, they have proven to result in you having a better life, making better choices, being in better circumstances, then why not? Why not stick with them? Why not conserve them? Because you've seen the result. So with them, they don't care about the result. They're going to keep pushing the narrative. They're going to keep pushing their ideologies regardless. They don't care about what it means and the price that you have to pay to live in this kind of way. So young people are realizing that, no, actually, the ways that my mom has taught me, my grandparents have taught me, and how their lives turned out is good, and I want that for myself because this is what resonates with me. There's nothing wrong with trying to conserve values that actually work, that actually bring good in society. As a Christian like myself, you can be a Christian conservative, meaning that you're someone that holds on to the biblical values, holds on to the word of God, and you see that as truth, you see that as a way of living life, and you're trying to preserve it. You're trying to protect it. I understand that it's very hard for young people that have subscribed to liberal ways of thinking, liberal ideologies, to break free from that, because this is what they know to be true. That's why they cannot accept anything else. That's why they feel the need to bash anybody else that comes with a different perspective or comes with a different opinion. That's why I can advise, as a young person, if you see yourself trapped in a rabbit hole of liberalism and you're not feeling peace, you are never happy, you're never satisfied, you're always seeing yourself as a victim, you're always feeling oppressed, and it's giving you depression, then I suggest that you renew your mind. That's why in Romans 12 verse 2 it says, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but instead be transformed by the renewing of your mind. When it comes to racism, when it comes to feminism, you need to renew your mind. You need to start looking at those things differently. Don't take it as what you have been taught or what you have been given. Renew your mind by being open to the fact that feminism might not be what you thought it was. That everything is not always about race. That it's not always that men hate you. Renew your mind to the fact that it's okay for you to want to get married. You do not have to see marriage as slavery. You do not have to conform to the narratives that motherhood is a burden and that men hate you. Every system that has been built in this world was built to oppress you because men hate you. Renew your mind to the fact that not all white people are racist and that you're not hopeless. There's something that you can do to make yourself successful. You're not oppressed to the point where you can't move because white people 3,000 years ago decided that you will never prosper. Renew your mind to the fact that guidance is not control. Just because your parents are advising you to do certain things or to not get involved into certain things, it doesn't mean that they're trying to control you. It doesn't mean that they're oppressing you. It doesn't mean that they are old school and they don't know what they are talking about. Renew your mind to the fact that a lot of these traditional values that we've been taught were there to protect us. They were there to help us. It was never to deprive us of freedom. Liberalism can bring you into bondage if you're not careful, because there's a lot of young women that think they're oppressed, that think that they're hated. Everything in their lives is because of the result of hate and oppression. We live in a matriarchy, but they still don't see it. They still don't see the opportunities that they're afforded. They still don't see the difference in the way we live life as opposed to the way that our parents lived life. They still move on like nothing happened. They still complain, they still have angers, they still fight as if no progress has been made. That to me sounds like bondage. So free yourselves by renewing your minds and trying to see things differently. We all have choices to make about our lives. Let's choose wisely.